And that will be you.
Okay, you said it's gonna say 3, 2, 1.
And it didn't. My bad. But
hey y'all.
Hey.
It's my
Hello,
birthday.
good people.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Hey, what's your part?
It's your birthday.
Wow.
Well, let's go ahead and throw this family dynamic in here. See, I'm normally the referee.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's real.
That's real.
That's real.
Before we get started.
Is it more like a mediator?
Referee.
I mean, we could do both of those. Referee, mediator, whatever you want to call it. And then we have the party animals here and whatever you want to call them.
Animal.
But hello, everyone. It's Alyssa 18th birthday.
Wow.
I want to keep you there.
That is how quickly the time has flown by. This child right here.
No. You're a baby. 18 is not baby status.
18 is definitely not
That's
baby.
adult status.
You'll always be my baby though.
And my baby too.
All right.
Okay, you're not coming in for the hug. You wasn't gonna lean in for. Okay, so definitely. We got an 18-year-old on our hands.
Y'all, I can go to big girl jail.
And that's what's on your mind? Is that what's on your mind?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Go, but like that's crazy to think about. Like if I get in trouble, I'm not going to no kitty jail.
No, 18. You doing some big girl things.
Wow.
I'm an adult.
Real girl. Yeah.
Real girl.
So it's a big birthday. Like 18 is a big deal for us because first of all, we raised a whole kid. So first of all, high five for us.
Yeah, definitely.
We did it.
Yeah.
We raised a whole kid.
Learned a lot along the way.
We learned a lot, and we just wanted to talk about it. We wanted to talk about it. We wanted to bring you in on this conversation. We wanted to get your thoughts on it because, I mean, it's a big birthday for you, but it's a big moment for us as well as parents. So first of all, how are you feeling about being 18?
Me, I don't know. I can't feel it yet.
Feeling words. Feeling words. Feeling words.
I mean, I feel it's crazy that I'm 18.
Yeah.
I don't look 18, but people say that's a blessing, so thank y'all.
Feeling words. So shocked, scared, happy.
Shocked.
Sad.
I'm happy.
See, I'm feeling her words.
I mean, it is kind of scary because like I'm turning into an adult, like, and I'm going to college and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of the stuff is that I can get out of, and I say like, hey, I can't go with my parents. Like my parents will let me go. I can't say that no more.
You're right. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's one of the things that when we think about you going to college, it's time for you to have your own moral compass.
Yeah, I gotta stick to my own word. Like I gotta realize that's not right, which I do a pretty good job of.
Yes, you do. We're so proud of you for that. But we have given you the tools, and we've given you all the things. So now it's time for you to take what we have taught you and go out into the world and put it into practice. And I love that for you. And that's why I'm a huge proponent of college, because I just love that you get to go to the college campus, be kind of in a safe, protected environment. And it's like the perfect, I feel like, practice ground for you to kind of be, practice being a young adult.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm scared. Keep it a book. I'm scared. For real.
For real.
I'm also excited, but I mean, some people can see it, some people can't, but like I have really bad social anxiety.
Yeah.
So
that's a real thing.
Yes, like all the friends I have, people be coming up to me. I mean, like I have I have a positive aura. I like to think. I like to think everybody loves to come up to me. I mean, they do. So.
You have good energy.
But I just have to. I've been working more on like pushing myself out of the box, like going up to people and being like, "Hey!" Like we just recently went on a cruise for Joshua's birthday. My birthday.
Hey,
he's 16. He's turning 16.
Yeah, we got a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old.
I wanted to go to Disney World, but that's besides the fact.
Yeah, you get there one way.
Me and Josh go to this teen club, and the first night of the teen club is always so scary because you go and you're like scoping out the scenery, like you're like, okay, who am I gonna hang out with? And if the people don't come up to you, then you just gotta thrust yourself in there.
Yeah.
So that was very scary. But there was this one group, and I was like, okay, they're looking at me, I'm looking at them. I think we both got social anxiety, but I just need to go up and say, hey. So I took a deep breath. I walked towards him, and then I walked around it and go up there. Took another deep breath again, and then I walked up towards him, and I was like, hey, y'all, because we were looking up for teams for a team scavenger hunt. So I was like, hey, y'all, do y'all have y'all group yet? They're like, no. So I was in their group, and then we hung out the rest of the time. We were there for a whole week, and we hung out every single night. We hung out in the Bahamas. It was so fun. And so I guess that just taught me, like, you know, I just got to go out for it. I got to say, hey, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it was a lesson. Alfonso actually taught me that. My father.
So let's just go ahead and just go ahead and start this out. So in our family, we have what we call a free zone. And as we have this conversation, we're gonna talk about the stages, like 0 to 18. Like we have made it all the way to 18. And in this free zone, I mean, we can really get free. Like we have what we call a judgment-free zone. So we can really share our truth and don't worry about being judgment. We weren't, and we agreed to not be offended. So that is our family dynamic. So we just want to kind of throw that out there. So we're in the free zone now.
And you're getting to see a little bit of that in live and in action. So if it hits you the wrong way,
Finger near you.
You're right. It's one of the things that I feel like has laid the groundwork to the product that you see in Alyssa. And mind you, it was not easy because it's not the traditional construct that either one of us actually were raised in.
No, not at all.
So this was something that we did as a trial and error.
Yeah.
We had to even question ourselves if this is the right way to do this. Even now sometimes I'm like, but let's roll with it. Let's roll with it. And it seems as if thus far it's worked out for us.
It's worked out. We had to go back and put in a few boundaries.
Absolutely.
Because this one right here, she tried us.
Yeah.
She did. But what we found was that at different stages of her life, she needed us differently.
Yeah.
So I found out. First of all, I have to pause. How do you feel about her being 18?
It's tragic.
Oh,
it is.
Tragic is the word you chose.
So it's a tragic yet proud moment, and those are very conflicting words.
Yeah.
Because you come in as a father, your goal is to protect. Your goal is to be there for. And knowing that she's not going to be just one step away, one 10-minute drive away, that I can get to her quickly. That's terrifying. Maybe terrifying would be a better word as opposed to tragic. That's a terrifying thought as a father. Yeah. However, knowing that we have built this rapport and this relationship, I feel like she's in a position where if anything does happen, she'll feel comfortable saying, hey, look, I need help. Just help me out, or I need you. So that is the side that allows me to kind of rest a little easier. Yeah. A little easier. So so that the terrifying piece, but proud to know that she's made it to this point. And I'm just excited to see where she goes from here, because we've had our hills and valleys and mountaintops, and we're at a different level now. So we have new challenges, but there's also going to be new mountaintops as well, and that's what I'm excited about.
Yes. Okay. But that's something we really worked hard at, and we were very diligent and intentional about, is creating a space where our children were very comfortable letting us know when they need help. And you can tell us when we're wrong, free zone.
Yeah, definitely.
So let us know if that's not how you feel, or something that you feel not to be true. Go ahead and jump in. But it's something that when they need help and when they felt like they were hurt or offended. Want to talk about that a little bit? Yes, no, true.
Go for it.
And it wasn't always
in the middle. I feel like
in the middle of it.
In the middle. Hey. In the middle. Like sometimes, especially getting my loving, wonderful mother.
Okay,
here.
because I've been growing.
One father likes to say is that we have the same personality, and sometimes we butt heads.
Yes, we do. And that's real.
Yeah.
It's all love.
Yeah.
All fair and love and war. But yeah, so sometimes there are a few times where like I didn't feel safe. But
Yeah.
if one, okay, I don't want to say if one parent was tripping.
No, get free.
But if one parent was tripping, there was always another one I could go to. Like I would never felt alone. Like I never had to like go upstairs to my room and be like, oh my god, like my parents are tripping. Like what's going on? Like if mom was tripping, I'd be like, yeah, hey, your dad, your wife. I don't know what's happening. Maybe she's having a bad day, but you might have to explain something to me because she get on my nerves. She's testing my patience.
Little
Yeah.
people have voices, and they have
And feelings.
patience, and they have feelings, and their feelings matter. And I will jump in and say that it did take me a while to learn that, and I worked on it.
You did. I'm so proud of you. Yes, you did.
Yes. So I would say, how am I feeling about having an 18-year-old? I am saying accomplished and proud.
You should.
Because, and I will say it's been a journey for me. So I just got to this accomplished part because I will say, and I'll get to when we talk about like the stages, but I was like really, 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 really sad. Maybe like 3 months ago, 2 months ago, like I was sad.
Way far out.
Like I was so sad, and I feel like it was like another loss for me. Like, and it was kind of it was hard. And then I don't know, something just really clicked, and I just felt like, you know what? Like when we went to visit the college, and I realized she was gonna be around good people that were gonna take care of her, and like this was her next big thing, and that she was gonna be okay. And I was like, you know what? She's gonna be okay. Like that means I'm gonna be okay. And that means I'm kind of free for real. Like
you still got a son.
Mission accomplished. I still got my baby, and I got him. Don't you worry about him because I got him.
So tell me though, babe, just go in, my wifey. Where do you think that sense of loss kind of came from initially? Because it was like you were down bad, and I'm like,
Down bad.
She didn't leave me. She was.
I'm not in college yet. I still need a house to come home to. Like,
I mean, it was like maybe 3 months into senior year, if not before. Before that, so where do you think that
I don't know. I really just felt, well, first of all, it's kind of been a year of loss for me in general. And it felt like another thing that I was losing, and I didn't understand that. So that was kind of a lot for me. So it was kind of a lot of personal work that I had to do. So it was probably a little projecting in there. But I really had to understand that the dynamics of our relationships were changing. And not even the dynamics of our relationship were changing, because the relationship was solid, but the proximity was the thing that was changing. And that even though the proximity was changing, the love and the communication would remain the same.
We do talk all the time.
Right. So I felt like as she even, because Liz be out living her life. Like when she got her car, and I realized when this girl got her license, got her car, and she goes out and does her thing and lives her life. And even when she would be gone, she would still be texting me and checking on me and, hey, how you doing? And telling me stuff and checking in. And, so when I realized that we would still be connected, and I was like, you know what, it's okay. And it's time for me now that I have, done, God gave me this beautiful gift. And I feel like I've done what God has called me to do in this season, and I've gotten her to a place where she can be, stand on her own 2 feet. And like, this is the next thing, to allow her to spread her wings and fly. And I now take on a new role and a new position in her life. Yeah. And now I go and walk and figure out what God has next for me. So I kind of got released, from one thing, and now I get to figure out what's next for me in this season as I walk into, into what's next for both of us.
Right.
So
But I do keep the party bumping. I wonder what y'all gonna do when I'm not home.
we out here living. That's what
yeah.
we do.
Hanging out with your brother.
No.
Well,
Because then Joshua will be in the middle.
Oh.
So it's interesting though because she needed us different ways in different stages. So I was thinking about we were married and we got married, I was about 22.
Mhm.
And so fresh out of college, straight out of college, got married, and I think 3 months in, we found out we were pregnant. 2 months in.
3 months.
3 months in, we found out we were pregnant. So
And they wanted a boy.
you thought you were a boy.
Yeah.
We did.
You were showing all the signs.
You missed it.
We missed it. We missed it. But you were not a boy, you were a girl. And so when we found that out, that was fine. And we just were young and we didn't know what we were doing. And we didn't really know how to be married, much less how to be parents.
Very much so.
So then we're figuring this thing out as we go. And so from like 0 to 1, we've got a newborn. I've started a new career. You have already been in your career. So we're just navigating life. And then she's 1 and pregnant again, Joshua.
Yeah.
Because they're about 2 years apart. So at 2 years old, we've got a 2-year-old and a newborn. So it's just interesting. Now we're trying to figure out how to navigate 2 kids. And so then we're thinking about 3. So we just got babies. She's babies. Just feed them, change them, sleep. Not much. That's just what they need. They don't need us. They need us as caregivers in that phase. Now we're thinking 3 to 5. 3 to 5, I think. And Alyssa at 3 is dancing around the house. That's what I remember. Dancing around the house. And we realized that there's something with this kid. Because she's just always moving, always dancing. Wasn't really singing yet. Because baby.
Okay, that's too much on me. Not okay. It was too my
It was always there. Just know.
there.
Baby.
No, it was always there. It was always there.
So 3 to 5. We noticed there's
Not too
something.
much on me.
So we put you in dance. Because we noticed put you in a dance group and we put you in this kind of really structured program. And I remember at 4, you came to me, and this is where we realized your voice is coming in, you're more independent. You come to me and you're like, I don't want to dance anymore. Do you remember?
Nah.
You don't remember.
Nah.
Yeah.
I remember the place that I was in was super, super structured, and I didn't like the structure there. I didn't feel like a person. I felt like a number. Like it was just trying to create robots. I mean, of course, I didn't know that while I was 4, but I was just like, I ain't really feeling it too much.
Yeah, and this is a time where we as parents are still trying to navigate through how to navigate parenthood, raising a daughter, of course having a Christian household. Like what are the no areas of dance and music? So we're thinking in our minds, okay, we can't have her in this type of dance program. We got to have her in this type of program because if you put her on this side, right. So it was
even in education, we were struggling. You know, we had you in the Christian daycare, and we just didn't know.
It was a lot.
We just didn't know. There were so many voices. If you put her in public school, this is going to be
yes, she's going down
for her. You know, it's just so much. So, but you told me, you were like, Mommy, I don't want to dance anymore because if I dance, I have to dance. If I dance at that school, I have to dance how they tell me to dance. And I want to dance how I want to dance. And I'm like,
She was a boss.
You the boss. Yeah. Very articulate. And so then I'm just like, oh, I'm like, but you have this gift. And this is where it comes to knowing your kids. And this is where I'm like, I know that you have this gift. We know that you have this gift. So what do you do?
Right.
Do you just say, okay, fine, and just no longer nurture the gift? Because imagine had I said, okay, you don't want to dance, that's fine, and we just didn't do anything about it. Where would you be now?
That's a good question.
Very much so.
So what we did was we had to just do a quick pivot, and we had to listen, and we heard her heart, and we said, okay, and we went and found a place that we were like, listen, I went and found we went and found a local place that would allow her the freedom to be exposed to various styles of dance. And I said, look, we went and found this place and we said, look, this is the situation. She's been trained in ballet and this and that and the other, but she really really needs to be able to do ballet and, you know what I mean? It can't be ballet or. And
Right.
so it was a beautiful dance company. Shout out to Couture Dance Academy. Miss Kim, thank you so much.
You're my mentor too.
Yes, and that began her dance journey. She said, you know what? We can put her in jazz. And she said, we can try jazz and let's try that. And I think she'll really love it. And put her in jazz. And them little feet been going ever since. Little feet been going ever since. She danced competitively for years. For a while, yeah. And then that was the blossoming of her dance career. And so I said, 3 to 5. But then next we got like 6 to 8. But I'm thinking, so she's developing 6 to 8. And 6 to 8 was like 6 to 8 was kind of quiet. 6 to 8, that's not middle school, that's kind of elementary school.
Yeah, still elementary. Don't get me the line.
I know,
She's
to
alive.
write this out. She's living right. But elementary school was challenging because we were still navigating public school versus private school.
Switch schools and that.
We were the elementary school, we were public school versus private school and switching schools. And again, listening to her because there was some problems with the environment in the private school, and really listening to your kids is the takeaway here, because when she spoke, we heard her. We didn't blow her off, and you can tell you hear.
I'm here.
So tell your story, honey. Tell us if we off, but
no, you didn't put me off. And I think now I was kind of sad. Like, I always had my different groups in the different schools. Although the school environment as a whole was crazy, I had like my little friends in the groups. And so when I kept on moving, I knew my little self knew like it was gonna be for the better, but like my big heart was like, I love you, my friends, this and the third. And so moving a lot did kind of like, I don't say it messed me up, but it did like change how I thought about places. Like, oh, I'm not gonna be here for long, this and the third. But now that I can say, as an 18-year-old and all the places that I've been, moving so much kind of helped me, because now I know how to like cope really quickly and just change it. Be like, oh, okay, I know how to act around this type of group. I know how to act around this type of group. I know how to be myself fully when I need to be myself. But I also know how to like change in these different type of group settings. And then going into the career that I want to go in, it is good to have that type of thing when I'm going into the career that I want to go in. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it is helpful. Like, it helped me. Like, you never know the path that you're going in. You never know your path, but you just got to follow the journey.
You're welcome.
To get to the destination.
Flip that.
Drink like
Flip
that.
Flip it.
So yeah, so then we get to the sweet 10. Okay. This
Yeah,
child is like, I want to have a sweet 10. And we're like, what? So we had a sweet 10 birthday party. And it was a blast. We had a good time.
Who does that? Sweet 10.
This is Alyssa Jones. But as a 10-year-old, I don't know that there was, I'm trying to think, what did she need from us as a 10-year-old?
I think I was bad.
Girl.
There was one stage where I was real bad.
And I think it was middle school.
I used to lie a lot.
Yeah, it was middle school.
So like finding her spot, her identity, whether it was personality, whether it was style of dress, belonging, and trying to navigate that with her, as opposed to against her.
Ooh, that's
and
good.
These were the moments where we as parents really had to lock in and say, okay, well, what does she really need? All right, we know these people, and this is probably one of the toughest parts. Some of the people that she chose to connect with, we knew were not necessarily the best.
Yeah.
However, it was important for us to make sure that we trusted, let her know that we trusted her. We valued her opinion and her decisions, and helped her walk through that. So when she got into those tough spots, she felt comfortable saying, "Oh, this and this is going on." And now we never came with the "I told you so." Well, I don't know if I did.
I did.
I try not to hit. I told you so.
Because age 11 is coming. Because that's all I do. I don't mind. Because age 11 is next.
Trying to hit you, but I told you so. But let's talk about it. Let's look at it now. Let's pause and look at all things. Let's look at the behind. Let's look at. I try to. It's intentional. But it was tough for us as parents to allow that type of thing without saying, all right, no, you're not going to hang with them. You're not going to talk to this person.
Y'all have done that.
Y'all
like, you're not going to talk to me, but y'all were like, I don't like her, but you know her. I don't know her.
Right. So we wouldn't prohibit her from, befriending people, and however, we made sure that she would, just like we wanted her to be honest with us. We tried to the best of our ability to be very honest with her as well. So it was a two-way street, and it hopefully produced dividends.
It did.
Results.
It worked out. It worked out for sure. Especially because let me tell you something. A lot of the people that I was hanging around, like, they don't really have, I don't want to say strict parents, but they don't have basically strict parents. Like, they ask me to do stuff, and I'm like, hey, can I go? And they're like, no. And I'm like, but why? What's her mama's number? What's her dad's number? What's her social security number? The whole, I'm like, y'all just want to hang out with my friends. And they were like, but you don't know her, you don't know her people, da, 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 da. And as little me, not even little me, like teenage, 13, 12, 11 me, I was so mad. Like, we used to fight a lot. I was so mad. And then now, as I am 18, I realized that they did that for a reason. And it is so important, because what you ever see like goggles and like you can only see in like your perspective or like a binoculars, what they see, like I was looking like this,
the perspective covers,
but they were looking like this. Okay, they saw the bigger picture. And so now I probably, like, if I had the friends that I had now, I probably wouldn't be as respectful. Like, I probably wouldn't be the person that I am today. So I knew it was for a reason, but I couldn't see it. So I'm glad you guys covered me in my
got you, boo. Can you dap me?
That's a fist.
Oh, I always get that confused. One question though. Did we explain why we were doing what we were doing?
Later. I think you did try to explain it, okay, but I was just mad.
Yeah,
like, and y'all always knew. Everybody, my grandparents, my parents, my pastor, everybody that I go around, they always say, "Oh, there's something different about you. Like, you always stand out in the crowd." And I never fit in.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went, still to this day,
yeah.
I never fit in everywhere that I go. Like, either somebody is bullying me, or like I just can't fit into the circles. And so when I was a baby teenager, well, I guess teenager. When I was a baby teenager, like my teens, my 14, 13, 12, 11, everybody would tell me that, but I'm like, I don't care. Like, I just want to have some friends. I want to go out. I want to that group.
Yeah.
But like, I never had that group. And then when I did have that group, I was still picking out. Like, I was still like, guys, like, come on now. You know that's wrong. Like, you know we got better stuff to do. And then I get bullied by my own friends. Like, what, you a Christian girl now? Like, this, that, and the third. And so definitely, like, walking with my path with Christ, and like having a Christian household, and like having people and family who saw me and saw that I was different, definitely like kind of worked out. Because now, I mean, I know it's kind of, I don't want to say it's lame, but like, y'all are cool parents. These basically like my besties. Like, I tell them everything. I give them the tea.
And I'll be here for all of it.
Yes, I give them the tea. They told me that. Here.
I definitely do, because I didn't go understand what's going on.
He liked the tea. He liked the tea. He be like, what? Exactly. So it was good to have my family circle, because that was the only circle that was steady. That was the only people that I knew for a fact weren't going anywhere in my life. And like I said, in my baby teenagers years, it was hard. Like there were some times where I did pray to God, like, why am I different? Like, why did you pick me out of all these people? Like, why can't I just have a normal childhood where I can have fun and I can have these groups and I can go out? And then I look at them, I look at the people that I used to hang out with, and I look at me, and we have totally different lifespans. Now, God's will is God's will with them, but like looking at them and like looking at where I am and looking at where they are, it is insane. And then older me, because I used to be very, very naive. Like I used to see the good in everybody. I still see the good in everybody, but like with borders. Like you're not about to play my face because I see you, but I'm gonna be nice to you because Jesus loves you. Jesus loves y'all. He does. Like you're not about to play my face. So when I was a baby teen, I did try to see the good in everybody. Like even my parents, they can tell you, I'm like, yes, like she did this. My parents were like, that's your friend? That's who you hang out with? That's not your friend, baby. That's not your friend. I'm like, girl, yes, he is. They were not my friend. But it's okay. It's okay. And then when it did come out that they were not my friends, they were there to support me. But I also realized, hey, I'm a big girl. Like I kind of overcome this. I understand why that I couldn't hang out late at night with them. I couldn't be around their family. I couldn't be around their folks because they weren't covering me like they were like my parents and my family was covering me. They were probably speaking bad stuff over me, and they might have not, but they didn't know what was going on in their house. And I get that now. And even now with Joshua, when he's like, oh, can I go here? I'm like, I'm stalking him on Instagram. Stop it. Oh, do y'all know this? Do y'all when they get their shot? I definitely understand, and I'm glad that like I've grown to be more mature in that state. But my baby teenage years, it was hard, and I still kind of struggle with it, like not being in the inner crowd, like, and I had to learn how to help be okay with my own company. And that kind of sucked because like seeing everybody in these groups and I'm just like isolated. And the fact is what got me is that I wasn't isolated. I was still around these groups. Like they were still trying to involve me, but something in my heart told me that I'm not even supposed to be here. Like it was me. It was like, girl, like you're not even supposed to be here. Like it's not even your friend group. But I was just like, dang, I have friends. So I had to be okay with being alone and loving myself and loving my own presence. And that was hard. And I still struggle to this day, just a piece. I'm getting better and better every day. But it was hard. And then when I did figure that out, I learned how to have like different type of friends. Now Mom gets the props on this one. Okay, you got shoulderly friends, and the shoulderly friends are closest to your heart. So this is your inner circle. Then you got your armly friends. Like they're cool. Like you can hang out with them. You go out and you go and you eat dinner and you have fun with them. But you're not gonna show them like your deepest darkest secrets. You're not gonna show them your full heart. And then you got your hand friends. Most of these friends go by. They're not even called friends. They're called acquaintances. You better for the most part. Teach the people. And so once I figured out that, I learned how to have friends in these different settings. And so when I didn't let everybody close to my heart, I stopped getting hurt a lot more also. Because I could point out and I could realize that, hey, you're cool to be around, but you're not cool to be in my inner circle when I'm crying or when I need help. You're not gonna be the gal I come to for that. It's okay. And that's okay. Let's go to the park right now. But when it's like those late night talks when I'm really going through it, I'm not gonna go to you. And I usually don't go now. I am sad because in my 18 years, like in my age right now, I don't have those heart shoulder friends that I really, really wanted. But that's okay. And I realized that in every season, you're not going to have those heart shoulder friends. You're going to have to realize that you're going to have to be your heart shoulder friend or your parents. Cause I be telling them again. I be telling them a lot. I be yapping to them a lot. So I guess y'all are my heart shoulder friends. Thank you. Okay.
So a point that she brought out in that,
Word.
as she was talking about being alone and having and understanding that her family was her inner circle and she could love and trust them. That was a point that Gwen and I actually had to come to of realizing as we're raising kids, because as parents, your kids will stress you out and maybe say piss off. Yeah, they'll really do that, and to where it will drive you to anger, and you're like, just go to your room, be by yourself. This is what you deserve. This is you did this, and this is the result. However, we had to learn that, especially with Alyssa, and this is something that we saw in her, that isolation was not safe or healthy for her.
No.
Where you would send a kid to their room for punishment. That's what you do, right? That's the standard strategic parenting methods. But with her, that was not something that we could do, and we found that early on. Like, isolation for her was not a healthy thing. It was not a good way to rectify a situation or to correct her.
Pull up on you.
Oh my gosh, he's my biggest stalker. And that's okay. That's okay. But he knows where I am every single time, and he will pop up anywhere.
But again, to that point, it's important as parents to make sure that you understand how to communicate love to your child. Sometimes we say, when back in the day, love and correction. This is going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. Yeah, that's cliche. That doesn't translate to them at all. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, does not work. So how do you do that? How can you get down to the level and say, hey, look, I do love you. Like, I understand this hurts. Like, this, your friend's not being there for you, that hurts. Yeah. How can I help? In those moments, and we deny ourselves and our emotions in those moments to just the trigger to act how we've always reacted. And be angry. You get angry at people, you give them, put them at arm's length. And sometimes we do that with our children. And in those vulnerable moments, when we do that with our children, that's when you hear about wayward children. Yeah. Because you're giving them the stiff arm. Okay, let me put you away from, let me let you understand how it feels to be away from me. Yeah. And guess what? When they're away from you in those moments, guess what's happening? There's somebody else in their ear getting their attention and showing them a type of love that they even understand and respect. And then when it's time for you to say, okay, you can come on back, now there's a hook that keeps them teetering back and forth, right? So it's not because we had it all together. Gwen and I, we learned through trial and error. Let me tell you, Alyssa Jones is a miracle.
She is. This is why we had to sit down and talk about this, because she is a miracle.
We did.
And I think the key here for us was that we had to be so aware of our default settings.
Yep. 100%.
We had to know what they were, and we almost had to rewrite our program.
Yeah.
Whatever we were programmed to do, whatever our upbringing was, whatever our programming was as parents, we had to rewrite that thing. We had to download new programs, and we had to make sure that, because even with this one, because this attitude,
she got it.
Her attitude plus wow.
That was a song that's funny.
But what he was saying, but knowing that isolation wasn't good for her, but also recognizing, because sometimes what looked like an attitude was her shutting down. Yeah. And sometimes what looked like an attitude was anxiety. You know what I mean? So sometimes she would be looking at me sideways, and I was like, little girl, you do not want this smoke. Cause my mommy, I love my mommy, but she would look at me and be like, what did she say if I had an attitude? She'd be like, I promise you I got a bigger one. Don't come with me, because I promise you my attitude is 10 times bigger than yours, so you don't want this. And I would automatically do that. But then I looked at her one day and I was like, wait, which leads to year 11, the year I went through grief recovery and I got certified in 2017. Hallelujah. Thank you, because you was giving me all this grief, but I did my work. And in 2017, from then on, I was better. But I'm able to recognize, I looked at her and I'm like, that's anxiety. Or that child is afraid. Or she's just shutting down. Like, that's not even disrespect. It looks like disrespect. It's all the signs of disrespect. But this child is about to cry. But it really looks like anger. Like the way that these things present can be very interesting. So taking and I mean, by the time, and the way she looked at me and it looked like she rolled her eyes, this, that, and third, I mean, it could have shut me down. And I'm already going into the, my default, like, oh no, but my default. But then I'm realizing that, no, I need to respond differently because this is not even what it's coming across as. So it's just important to be able to recognize that in your children. So yes, so that was 11. Age 11 is when I feel like I shifted as a parent. I was changed. That's when my default set, my computer programming was completely rewritten when I became a grief recovery specialist, and I became more open to emotional honesty, active listening, all the things. So I really tried to change. I was more of a drill sergeant. I wasn't super emotional. I tried to be emotional. I hadn't given her a whole lot of like affection.
Yeah, she came back from grief recovery talking about some, give me a hug. I said, oh.
Hadn't hugged her, and she's 11, and she had not gotten a lot of affection from me. So I had to like hold her for 10 seconds every day to get her used to affection. Now she comes home and she's like, now she hugs me, and it's wonderful. But just noticing kind of, I didn't grow up with a lot of that.
Right, exactly. That's the program.
I didn't grow up with default. So I didn't know, like, love to me was just protection and provision. So that's what it was, and that's what it meant for me. And that's kind of what I had portrayed here. So once I realized that's kind of not what I wanted, I had to reprogram and change some things here. And so now I'm just proud because I did that. As far as I was intentional about that with her and with both of our children, even in my marriage, like it was game changer. So that was 11, 12. I feel like 12, 13, 12 to 15, I would say. What did you need from us? This was more so middle school. It was a lot of finding yourself in those years.
Middle school, I say middle school, it was a lot of finding myself.
So patience and a lot of talking and a lot of listening, I feel like.
Yeah, and I feel like even in that, with that 2017 kind of helped set us up for the teenage years, because with the amount of listening that we had to do,
so much
listening and understanding and being patient, big ups to grief recovery, because I don't know if we would have handled it the same way had we not had that.
She was off the chain, like those were, and a lot of times, I mean, sometimes she was protecting her brother. I mean,
yes, y'all used to beat people up.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, sometimes. However,
because my baby is a gentle giant, and so, but you really needed to calm down.
I did.
I did. She was just into everything. Just wanted to belong so bad. So, just a lot of talking, a lot of just navigating and guiding, and I really felt like you kind of became a coach.
Yeah.
And I think I can't remember when that was. No, I believe 15. It was more 16 when you went transition to musical theater.
Around 15.
15, 16.
It was around 15.
That's when your voice came in, child.
Whoa, baby.
No.
My voice was always there.
It was always there.
It was developing at a young age.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Let me tell you something. When I went and heard you sing in Cinderella, I was like, wow.
Not even, my first musical was Shrek.
No.
Yeah, your first musical was Shrek, because she was the sugar plum.
I was there, and it was great.
Yes. Cinderella was that one, like where you were like,
I was like,
You was hitting all them.
Sing. And I was like, when did she learn to sing? I was like, because you always said she could sing.
Yeah.
And you always said it. I was blown away, like, and just the way, I mean, first of all, here we go again with the changes. Remember I told y'all when she was 4, she was like, I don't want to dance. I want to dance the way I want to dance. So we figured that out. Now she's like, she's doing competitive dance, and now we shout out to Kids on Stage and Parker Harris and
Love y'all.
Susan and Shane, the whole team. We appreciate y'all, love y'all, yes, the whole family. And she is, and actually there was a mom.
Yeah, that's the one.
Whoever you are, thank you. Because I don't know exactly who you are. So this is kind of long, but whoever you are, thank you. And I know my friend Audrey, actually, she inboxed me and was like, there's a mom that said that Alyssa would be great for Kids on Stage and that she should try it out. And Kim, your first musical was
The birthday with
Kim
Kim and the Jones production.
And that was fun.
And that was
great.
So that was like, okay.
That was your introduction. And we couldn't find it in Greenville. So we tried. And then that's when somebody inboxed me to try Kids on Stage. And I was like, we need to check this out. We tried it. And that's another thing. When opportunities arise, when we found out what your gift, but we really did try to put you in rooms that would nurture and stir up your gift. Yeah. And so then we went and tried Kids on Stage, and you loved it. You loved it. And then we tried to do competitive dance and Kids on Stage for a while, and then the schedule started conflicting, and
that was so hard.
It was hard. And it was such a big decision. I know you wrote about that on your college applications. I mean, this was big girl decisions that you had to make.
I never, going back to like not belonging and wanting that friend group, like I had my friend group.
Yeah, KPA.
That was my heart. Like, these were my people.
Yeah.
And so, like, leaving them and going into a whole new thing where I didn't have anybody, I was like, again? Like, why?
Yeah, well, I remember that.
And then it was like, you're going to have to choose, and you already have your answer. And I was like,
and that's what I'm saying. In this, like, 15, 16 stage, you really turned into, like, a coach. You turned into Coach Daddy.
Yeah.
Because it was so hard.
He started, not only did you become like her vocal coach, but you really had to coach her through a lot of
lifing.
You became the life.
That was a crazy year.
And
I'd say that's crazy. I had a lot of transitions.
And so, now you really loved musical theater. And not only are you having to go into this new environment, you did dance from 4 years old.
Exactly. That's all I knew.
You're 16 having to catch up. You don't know.
Very much so.
I don't know anything. These people at practice, they're like, okay, go upstage.
What's that?
Girl, you saw so-and-so, a Phantom of the Opera, Wicked. Y'all, I saw Hamilton and rewatched it for probably a year. I still love Hamilton to this day, and I can still rap the whole 2 hours and 45 minutes. So don't play. But I only knew Hamilton. I only knew Hamilton, and I was like, I don't know anything else. I didn't get any of the inside jokes. I was like, what is going on?
And we watched you blossom and thrive in the environment and from scratch.
Thrive.
Well, my dad always has this thing, because we literally always have this conversation, like every transition, and it's the 3. I can't remember the first one. It's like, you go, you learn it, what is it?
You do it, you learn it, you do it, and
you do it and you kill it. Learn it, do it, kill it. Literally, that is what I live by. Like, that is literally what I live by. So when he said that, and I was like, learn it, do it, kill it. And even when I got asked to go to New York, like, I was like, first of all, I went into New York not thinking I was going to get a lead at all. Like, I was like, I'll be lucky if I even get like a baby ensemble solo part. Like, getting into New York, that was crazy. And I was telling my dad, like, I don't even know if I'm good enough. Like, I struggle with imposter syndrome a lot. Like, with all this, especially all these opportunities coming at me, all of it still feels so surreal. Like, it's maybe, I don't know if I feel like I don't deserve it or like, I don't know, but I struggle with imposter syndrome real, real bad. And everybody's like, oh my goodness, like, you're so amazing. You're going to be on Broadway, and the third. And I'm like, what if I let these people down?
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't even,
Pressure.
I was doing it for me, but it was also like, now all these people are looking at me, and what if I don't live up to it? Like, am I even living up to it? And so when I got to New York, my dad was there the first week. I'm glad he was there the first week. I mean, I'm glad you were there too.
Yeah, I'm just glad y'all get to see this.
I'm glad he was there the first week because I was scared. And the New York process was so fast. We had not even five whole days. We had like 4 days to learn our show. Learn lines. We had like books in our hands, but you had to like still memorize the lines, know the show, know the choreography, know the music in 4 days. And I'm like, Dad, like, I don't even know if I can do this. Like,
you was auditioning the first day.
I was auditioning the first day. So mind you, it wasn't even 4, it was probably 3.5 days because the first day we auditioned. And I was like, Dad, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm so scared. And Ollie said, learn it, do it, kill it. So I'm like, okay. And I was like, I got this. I gotta go in there. I gotta be myself. Like, I had to do affirmations. Now you taught me affirmations. I just gotta do what I do. Like, I'm here for a reason. And when I do have this imposter syndrome, I keep on telling myself I'm here for a reason. When I was in those audition rooms, I'm here for a reason. Like, there's no way. And what my dad also taught me is what's for you, it will sit. It will stay. It'll come to you. If it passes you, it wasn't for you. And that's also what I live by. What's for me, it will come to me, it will stay. And what's not for me, it will pass by. Or another opportunity will be better. So I'm in my first week of New York. I'm in this audition room and I am scared. Now, mind you, the audition process, you got about 12 seconds to sing the best 12 seconds of your life, and then they go to the next one. And then they go to callbacks. And I was like, what? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do this. And then I get a call back. And then I get another call back. And then I get another call back. And then a lead in a New York workshop show. And I'm like, y'all, this is crazy. And my dad, now my mom, she's always my cheerleader. She's like a hype man. And my dad's like, he sits, he's complimented with his legs crossed. I know. Like, this is what you do. I already knew this was happening. I already know. I'm like, okay, Dad. This I already knew, like, you was gonna come in and kill. And then I go to that second week and he wasn't there, but learn it, do it, kill it. Still kept that process in my head, and I got another lead. So this is 2 New York workshop Broadway shows that I am leading in. That these praise people in my room, the writer from Dreamgirls were in the room, coming to me, oh my gosh, like, you're so good, this, that, and the third. So I'm in these rooms with all these people that I do not feel worthy of even being in. And it's like, wow, learn it, do it, kill it. And I don't think I would have the confidence if it wasn't for like the support system and the covering that I have. And like knowing, hey, I don't need to be with this friend group. I have my people. Like, that was really, well, not New York, but around my 15, 16 era was like really like, hey, if I don't have anybody else in the world, I have my family. Because in your like lower ages, like, it's kind of like, no offense, y'all. Free zone. Like, it was looked upon, it was lame. Like, and I actually got picked on, like, girl, you tell your mom everything, like, you're talking to your parents, like, what are you doing? I got picked on for that. And I was like, and then I realized, hey, these are really my guys and gals. Like, these are my gals. And it was also 15 and 16 is when I finally just gave up the ghost of trying to fit in and realizing that, like, I have a covering over our life. I have a plan. I have been chosen, and I'm done fighting. I'm just gonna give in. And then what I did realize that I realized that I had a lot of people covering me that wasn't even my parents. Like, a lot of people looking out for me, and they don't even know me. From like 3rd grade, I was hanging out with gals, and my PE teacher pulled me to the side and was like, do you really want to hang out with these people? Like, are these really your friends? Now, mind you, teacher. And he was like, take a look at your surroundings. Even like I've had so many good teachers in my years that covered me. And it's angels, like that's crazy. If one thing that I was struggling with in my faith was like, it's like, is God real? Like, be for real. Yeah. Like, what's going on? And like especially now that I'm 18, looking back, God is like, he really had me. Like having like the teachers that were covering me and that like had my back and that were like fighting for me, even when I didn't even know my worth at the time. Like, and I would be so mad because they calling my mama and like they let these people do it. Like they literally just did it. And they're like, no, but you know better. Like, yeah. I know your parents. I know your people. This is not who you are. So why are you acting like that? Like I've had teachers come up to me, even Miss Kim at Victoria Dance Academy. They're like, Liz, you don't need to be doing that. Like, what are you doing? Like, sit down. You're doing too much. I'm like, okay, Miss Kim. Like,
here go my mama again.
Here go, like my mom, my parents were everywhere. Everywhere that I went, my parents were there. Even if they weren't physically there, like teachers and people were covering me. And like looking back on it, it is kind of crazy. And it was kind of crazy how even at a young age, I was set apart. And I may not have liked it, but it was like, dang, like, a lot of people did have my back when I didn't think I had anybody there. And like people fighting for me for closed doors and I had no clue. And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. So like I said, 15 and 16, that was definitely like a realization point for me.
You want to know what the gag is though? We got Pitt going too.
Really?
Because it's lame to hang out with your kid all the time too.
Yeah, like I said, they love me. Like the party.
They were like, why you always got your kids? Yeah, you always got your kids with you. Like, we really kind of caught it too, because we was taking y'all with us on vacations. We were like, we like our kids. Yeah. But we also knew what your situation was, and we knew that you were, we were your covering, and that we were your people. And so we didn't mind it. And so, that's just kind of what it was for us. And we were okay with it. And people didn't have to understand our story, but we knew that we got you, and we was gonna rock with you, and that's just what it was. Yeah. So yes,
very much so.
So 17, I feel like after your Sweet 16, 17, and now 18, I feel like it really shifted, and I feel like people always say, because there's this saying, and that's why I really love what our relationship has become and what it is now. I don't know about you and your daddy. I'm gonna speak for me and mine. You can speak for you.
You need to say that.
I'm talking about me and mine. But I will say, and I even say this in fear of the people, because cancel culture is real. But people always say,
I got you.
Right, get them, Top, get them. Because they always say, I'm your mama, I ain't your friend. But I will say, it really shifted. 17, 18, I feel like we became besties. And I love it here. I wouldn't change it for the world. And it does become a point in parenting where y'all do transition and become friends. And it is important that your child sees you, I feel, as a friend and not just this super duper harsh, authoritative figure. You know what I mean? I feel like there is a point, especially around this age, where the transition is necessary. The transition is important. And I hope that you do see and have found a friend in me.
Oh.
And it really is important though when you think about it, because you think about the definition of a friend, of someone who can see your heart and understand your fears and things of that nature. Show the friend. Mm-hmm. So being in that parent and friend element, especially in this stage, is so very important.
Yeah.
Because as she goes out, she needs to know that you can call on your friend.
That's right.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me, and you got a parent in me. Because there's going to be moments where I know there's going to be moments still where she screws up.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and I have to be cognizant of that fact enough to know that when it happens, who am I? I'm your parent. I love you. I may not have been exactly there, but I've been somewhere around there. And I may not know exactly what you need, but I know some of the things that you may need. And I'm going to be there for you in that moment. So, and with the parenting hat, sometimes societally, it looks like, the finger, the wagging finger. No, 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 don't do. Okay, so since you did that, now you gotta do this. Do friends do that? It's, and again, and hopefully over time, maybe the stigma on parenting will change, where people understand that parenting has its different elements, and parents don't have to be so authoritative and dictative. But again, in this stage, I love the relationship that you have with your mom and what you have with Alyssa. I know we're not the same. I'm more laid back. They lit.
I still give him the tea though.
I get the tea, but I process the tea differently because I'm like,
okay, but what is he going through? And like, what are you gonna do about it? I said that. I don't know yet. I'm just
she just pouring tea. But yeah, it's just so necessary. I just and my prayer for her is to make sure that she can always feel comfortable calling us in whatever situation comes around, whatever happens.
Anything.
She can call us. And that started being the plan early as we went through grief recovery and then started seeing her transitioning and seeing how much of a leader she was and where started identifying and acknowledging the trajectory that she had. Like we knew she ain't gonna be with us long. She's not gonna be in North Carolina all her life, and there's gonna be places that she goes that we can't go. But we still have to have that connection, and we started from there to prepare for here.
And we were like, you can always come home wherever you go. Don't let pride, don't be broke, don't be homeless, don't let pride get you. You can always come home. We also, last thing, I'll leave you with this, and then we're gonna have a big announcement. If you want to do the big announcement, if we don't want to do the big announcement, we don't have to do the big announcement. But we had to know when she needed more than us. We had to know when she needed something outside of us. And there were times that even when, as grief recovery specialists, as counselors, as parents, we just didn't have what she needed. Even when we had it, even if we did have it, she didn't need it from us. She needed it from somewhere else. And there were moments when she was struggling to find herself, when she was so alone. And it was frustrating because we were like, girl, look around you. We have given you everything. We have tried to do everything for you and you still unhappy. And it could feel like she was ungrateful, but it was just like, regardless, she feels how she feels. It doesn't matter. Like the point was, she's upset, she's sad, she's lonely, and this is what she's telling us. So we did have to go find her a counselor. All of us have counselors.
All of us.
And she's been in counseling for years. And how was that for you?
It was pretty good. I think I stuck with the same counselor. I've had the same counselor for years, and I love her. Got a session on Thursday.
And it's been a great thing for her. And it's a thing about just, if you don't take nothing else away, little people have voices. Listen to them. Please hear your children. Their voices matter. And when she told us that, whatever she was going through, or that she wasn't feeling good, or that she was sad, or that, we just recognized that she needed a voice outside of ours. And I ain't gonna lie, I can be territorial. And I was just like, I was side-eyeing, wanna.
Yes.
I had to get over my pride, right? Like, what is she telling you? You know what I mean? Like, how was she advising you? I mean, but you know what? I had to get over my pride. And I had to trust that, I had to do my due diligence. And I had to go find her a voice that she could feel safe with, that she could be free with, and that she could go share her truth with, because it was about what she needed in this season. And it was one of the best decisions that we have ever made. So hopefully this was helpful.
Yes, I got more things.
Oh, you got it. Go ahead and say. Go ahead. You've been preaching this last hour anyway.
When it comes to going back to Dad's point and your point and wrapping it up, it is long. When it comes to being friends with your kid, I can say that in the lower ages, having that discipline, starting it lower it works out in the end. I didn't see it, like I said. I have one perspective, they had a big perspective. But when my bedtime was like 8:30, and I was mad, and I was still trying to see my phone, and then Dad come in like a ninja in the night, and I'd be so mad. Or like, I can't go out with these friends, or like having that kind of discipline. It helped me figure out that like they're doing it for a reason. Like they're not doing it just because they don't want me to have fun. They're doing it for a reason. Because there has been times where like I was mad I didn't go, and then something happened, and then I was glad I didn't go. But then also you have to realize with age comes with age and with building your trust with your parents comes more freedom. So my bedtime came from 8:30 30. And then like especially going out, like usually when I was maybe I started like going out around maybe like I don't know, maybe like 13, 14 ages. My curfew around there was like 9 o'clock. I'm like, dang, guys, come on now. But now that I get it, like I was younger, I was on the younger side, and like I can't be out late at night. But then I'm hanging out with my friends, and I call my dad because I'm like, hey, what's my curfew? Because I do respecting their boundaries also helps your friend respecting your friend's boundaries also helps them become, I guess, your friend also. Because build trust. Because once you have those boundaries and they know you're not gonna do nothing crazy, then they're gonna have respect, they're gonna have trust for you. And I guarantee you, parents, this for you. Listen in if you're still here because it is very, very long. Whatever like you tell your kids that like they can't do, I'll do it anyway. That's true. Sorry. No.
Yeah. Elaborate on that. Unwrap that a little bit.
Sorry, I didn't.
Okay.
When it comes to dating, and it's like y'all can't have no boyfriend, y'all can't have no girlfriend. Y'all, they're doing it anyway. I pinky promise you on that. They are. And or even though they're like sneaking around. Like I feel like super strict parents make sneaky kids.
Yeah.
And like when you're open and you have parents that kind of like, I guess, are like soft-hearted and come with open arms, then you're more open to say, hey y'all, I kind of like this guy. And like they lead you through it. Like they lead you through it and they coach you through it. And I guess when you never realize, parents, again, it's another gym for you. Like how y'all expect y'all kids to learn how to date if you don't let them date in their household when they're in the house? Like these kids be going crazy because they don't know how to do it. Like they don't know what to expect. They don't know what they're looking for. And I mean, you could. If you're a good like wife and marriage and husband, I mean, they could see that marriage and be like, okay, this is a good marriage. Like I want a marriage like my parents. How you get there? Yeah. You don't know you don't know if you're not gonna let them like teach you through it. Now there are boundaries. Like having a boyfriend at 5 is crazy. But like when you're like especially kind of like high school, like 14, 15, 16, 17, that's when the dating field kind of gets crazy. You do kind of need somebody to go you through. Like you do somebody needs to help. I do have a boyfriend right now, y'all. I do have a boyfriend right now, and I've had previous boyfriends too. But every single boyfriend that I had, I was open with them, and I would tell them like, "Hey, he's kind of making me mad right now," and even my mom. And sometimes my mom be taking the boyfriend side, and I'm like. Ugh. But sometimes I know that I'm in the wrong. And sometimes even my dad, he's like, hey, like, you're tripping. Like, he's actually helping. He's trying, and you have to see that. And I'm like, oh, okay. But how would I know that if they weren't even open to the fact of me dating? And now, they're not crazy. Like, we respect boundaries around this house. Like, my boyfriend's super respectful. I'm super respectful. His parents, everybody's parents are super, super respectful. So it's, again, keeping your parents' boundaries when it comes to that also because you are still in their house, kiddos. That's a drop for you. You're still in their house. You still have to follow their rules. But being open to stuff like that and like other stuff makes you want to talk to your parents and makes you want like, okay, my parents are cool. Like I can talk to them about it because it's 24, y'all. Dating is crazy out here. It's crazy.
It's very crazy.
Y'all like that's crazy for like what 20? Like, you know,
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So like I want to have something like that. And so when you guys kind of like coach me through it, I feel like I can shift through the boys easier. Honestly,
Sift them, honey.
boys.
Sift them.
Mhm.
Right?
Hey.
What a catch.
I can
What a
sorry,
catch.
Dad. I can shift through the boys easier. And it just helps me as a person. It helps me not get hurt quicker and easier. And it just helps me build like a bond or kind of like maybe not like a wall or like a I know what's going on. And like I can see the signs of red flags and I can see, hey, you don't have my best interest at heart. So I can see it because my parents taught me how to do it. But
That's a word.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. Okay,
What's happening here?
quick wrap up. What's your favorite thing about your daddy?
Favorite thing about my dad is that he is my coach. Like he will tell me what I'm doing wrong, but he's also like my best friend. Like I will tell him everything. And even like when it comes to like theater, he's not also my vocal coach. Y'all can't have him. Sorry. He's my vocal coach, my acting coach, and also like my life coach. Now I know he has his own business. Y'all gotta pay for his life coaching. I get that for free. Trifecta Prime. And seeing him like reach for his goals and like having this mindset and like listen to like the different podcasts and like he does this crazy thing where like he listens to like instrumental music.
Oh yeah.
And like he's like, okay, this makes me feel strong. Like superhero music that you see in the back of a Marvel movie. I get in his car and that's what he's listening to. He's like, you gotta put yourself in these mindsets. And so like to see him do that makes me want to be like, makes me feel like I can actually pursue my dreams. It makes me feel like I actually got a shot. Like I can go for it. Like he's giving me the tools, like theater wise, but also mental wise to keep my mental mental correct and keep my mental sane. And so yeah.
Okay, I'm scared to ask.
What's your favorite thing?
About my mom, basically the same thing. She will tell me, but she's also, like I said, she's my best friend. Like I can tell her anything, even though we go at it sometimes. She's kind of like my twin. Like
yeah,
okay, no,
identical. They are identical.
I say that one time, okay? She's gonna run with it for the rest of her life.
Looking in the mirror. And look in the mirror.
But she is my twin. I love her. I can confide in her. I confide in both my parents, but like I can confide in her. And like she's like my, I don't say my crazy friend, that like my hype man. She's my hype man. Like even when I feel like I cannot do it, like oh my goodness, I choreographed Kids on Stage this year's JTF Camp Rock, and I am so glad I got the chance to do it, but it was the hardest thing in my life.
You was laid out
like,
on the floor.
I was laid out dead on the floor, like on the wooden floor, like this. Like, I can't do it. Like, oh my goodness. She's like, girl, get up. Dad was like, take a walk outside. Mom was like, go get you some coffee. Like, get up. Like, the support system that she has is crazy. And, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm scared. Every time I have a show, she matches with the theme. Like, she always has
Yep.
Like that's my biggest cheerleader. I was Moana last year for JTF. Moana's mom. Like Camp Rock mom. Like stuff like that. Newsies. I was in Newsies when I was Pearl and SpongeBob. She wore pearls. Got T-shirts made. Like she's always my biggest cheerleader, and I love that about her.
Are we dapping? Is this a dap?
Fist.
Is it a pound? Fist bump?
Yeah.
Oh, fist.
I also have to teach her this thing. She don't be knowing this.
I don't. Never know.
Murdering it.
Happy birthday, Todd. We love you. We're so proud of you. The best is yet to come. And now for the group.
If y'all stay here for that.
If y'all stay, if you didn't, you missed it, raise your hand.
You missed it, raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
I didn't miss it.
Okay, they missed it. I'm raising my hand for y'all.
Right.
There'll be like an official post if
you missed it, you can watch it.
I went through musical theater. I'm going to pursue a BFA degree focusing on musical theater. And I just finished doing all my audition rounds for all the schools. And I got into 2 programs. I auditioned for 2 programs. I got into ECU and I also got into UNCG. Now UNCG that was my dream school. It may not be my first, it wasn't my first pick, but it's started to turn into my dream school once I
did.
started looking into it and crazy stuff like that. And then I'm looking into it, I'm like, y'all, UNCG is kind of crazy good. Like, this is crazy. And then I look at that acceptance rate.
Yeah.
Woo, 8 spots.
Out of how many? 1,000, 2,000?
So I submit my pre-screens, right? Submit my pre-screens. And once you submit your pre-screens, it's just a video. And then they look at your pre-screens, they say, hey, we're going to call you back. You don't have it yet. So I got a call back for Greensboro, and we went up to Greensboro, and I was super, super nervous because they had 8 audition weekends already?
Yeah.
They had 8 auditions for callbacks. Now, mind you, this is all the people they thought they were amazing, and they get a callback. They had 8 weekends of that already. I was the last weekend.
Yeah, the last day.
The last day of the weekend also. I was super, super, super nervous. But I went in there, I showed them my heart, and over 1,000 people auditioned, and there was only 8 spots. And your girl Alyssa Jones got a spot. I will be going to UNCG, Greensboro. No, you don't need to be on it. Just clap. UNC Greensboro to study my BFA program, BFA degree in musical theater. I am so excited.
Go
Such a small cohort. I'll be getting one-on-one training almost every single day. The staff loves me and they love my parents. Honestly, when I first got the acceptance letter, I was like, do y'all want me or do y'all want my parents? But yes, the staff is super, super, it's like family oriented. Yeah. I love it. I love the people. I already got my housing. I found my roommate. It's locked in, y'all. I'm locked in.
You're locked in.
I'll be 2 hours away. So it's not too far. Far enough, not too far. Far enough for them to come get me. But yeah.
So we are excited. Happy birthday, little girl. Can we do that? Can we do the We Are Jones? Or do you want to say Go Spartans?
We'll do Go Spartans because we -1 Jones. Yeah. Jones -1.
Oh, we missing Judge Boosty.
Yeah.
He right upstairs, right? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Go.